What's up guys, this is Teddy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This video we're going to be talking about group by and halving, and I'm going to do it in a way that's relatively simple and very real world. So if you didn't check out my previous video on aggregate functions, I'll just quickly go over what an aggregate function is. And all I did was literally type in aggregate function. I pulled up the first article that I could find, and thanks to Charlie Fay, make sure to check out his article. We have a nice little chart here of aggregate functions, and they're almost like functions in programming. You have the sum, you have the average, and then you have the max, and then you put in the column name, and it's going to aggregate, aka it's going to add up. It's a fancy aggregate is a fancy way of saying it's going to add up all of these numbers. Or it's going to perform the sum, the average, the max on a whole entire column. It's not going to do it. It's not going to add these columns together, or because if you pass in, for instance here, and if you want a whole entire video, I have a whole entire video. My previous video was the whole entire thing was dedicated to this. So let's just say you typed in as sum, and it's going to add up the whole entire order ID column, and you're going to get that, and it's going to just put it in one neat little row, and you won't have to go through and add up every single column. Why you do that, I don't really know, but where the importance of aggregate functions comes into play is with group by and halving, and doing this on whole entire rows. You want to be able to do these on, you don't want to just add it up into one record. You want to be able to do these on many records at once. That's really where the power comes in. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to find the sum for all of these categories. You wanted to find the sum or the average list price for all of these categories. Well, actually, let's do the average price of each category. So here you have category 6, you have category 5, and these are foreign keys. If you don't know what a foreign key is, make sure to check out my video on that. We're kind of building on knowledge here. So I assume, if we're already in aggregate functions, I'm assuming you kind of know what a lot of these terms are, but if you don't, I have videos on them. So make sure to check that out. So you're going through here one day, and your boss says, I need you to find the average list price for each individual category. And you're all happy, and you say, oh boy, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the average, and I'm going to have the category just like this, and then I'm going to pass in the list price. And you're all happy, and next thing you know, you hit the execute, and oh my god, what happened? What happened is that you did do the aggregate. You had the right idea, but it's going to even tell you is invalid in this select list because it is not contained in either an aggregate function or the group by clause. So whenever you see this is just a fancy way of SQL saying you need to put the group by. You need to put this in a group by clause. And before I even get into the group by clause, this is the secret sauce to a group by clause. And make sure to leave a like, because everybody else is going to make this really confusing, but I'm not going to do that to you. So what's going to happen whenever you do a group by? And so look at this one right here. Pretend column 1 is our category and column 2 is our list price. What it's going to do is it's going to split all of them up into categories. So in our case, we would have like sixes, all our sixes categories here, all our sevens, and all our eights. It's going to apply our sum, or in our case, our aggregate function, our average, and then it's going to combine them. So split, apply, combine. Split, apply, combine. If you can do that, it's just going to split all of them up. It's going to apply all of our averages to each individual column that matches. So all the sixes, it's going to average. All the sevens, it's going to average. Then it's going to combine them, and that's what group by does. That's all group by does. So we're going to go here, and the secret is that you don't put the average there. You only put the category. And for instance, if you had another one, if you had the list, like if you had, I don't know, like the date created here, you would also have to put that down into, you would also have to put it into the group by. So another really important point, if you have another row that you're trying to group by, or you're trying to show, you also have to put it into the group by. But you don't put your aggregate function in the group by. You only put these right here. So you go ahead, you run them, and we've got our averages for all of our categories. Very simple. Having it, so the group by is what allows you to have these aggregate functions, and you can also apply wheres to these. Another key point, so let's just say, and then category is not equal to 1. Let's just say that we want to leave out our ones. You can include where clauses in here too. So it will not include, so it's not going to include the ones, but really what you want to do is you want to have having, and having is pretty much the where clause of group bys. So we're having the average, the average, let's just say the average list price. So it's sort of like the where clause, but you have, so if you were to put the where in here, so if you were to say where average list price, you see you can't do that is not equal to, whatever number. You see, you can't do that in a where clause. You can't have aggregate functions in a where clause. That's why we have havings. So let's just say where the average list price is greater than 700. And that should not include 2, I think. Yeah, so it would not include 2. And let's just say category 3, where it is the average list price is greater than 800, and it will leave out category 3. And yep, that will filter out the rest of our categories. And that's really all there is to it. It's really not that complicated, and having is pretty much just the where clause for group by. And group by is how you split, combine, and apply things and allow it so that you can, like I said, group by data. It's just kind of, a lot of SQL is exactly the way it sounds. It's not really that complicated, and it's as we get further, there's going to be more complicated things in this, but this is pretty much it for the beginners, and this is, after this video, is kind of when we're going to start going into more intermediate stuff. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and as always, thank you for watching.